absolutely. In my matches with Justin, he has an extraordinary ability to play quickly and stay ahead on the clock. Here, he's in trouble. There's no question. What's this? This looks like this should be a mate.
There's got to be a mate on the board. Knight G6, King runs.
Queen G2, Queen G2 check.
Queen G2. If the King goes to D4, Queen D5 is just mate, so he has to drop on F3.
And now we capture on F3 and then C2.
He takes
capturing on C2
but
first.
Now he can drop on F5, but he better mate, because if there's no mate, White's threatening Queen takes F7. So there's got to be a mate here. Where's the mate?
Exactly. Well,
now it comes.
That's always a good start. Ooh,
why did he move the
Justin,
knight?
That blundered.
Oh, he had no pieces. Perhaps no human being on the planet is more qualified to help commentate on the 2018 Crazyhouse Championship. With me here, Grandmaster Yasser Seirawan, the legend, and who's known for his skills not just for classical chess but in variants. So, Yaz, I'm going to give it to you right there. How excited are you for this event today? We get to watch perhaps the greatest Crazyhouse chess player of all time, Justin Tan, John Lee Crazyhouse, and tell us a little bit about your history with this variant.
Well, first of all, Danny, great. What an introduction. I hope I can live up to that one. Pleasure to be here with you again, and a shout out to the audience. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us for what we hope is going to be one of the best, if not the best, Crazyhouse tournaments ever played. Yeah, when I started playing chess, I was 12, so I was relatively late bloomer. That was the 72 Fischer Spassky Bobby Fischer boom. And very early, after just literally learning chess and how the pieces move, I fell in with a group of friends who really loved Bughouse. And Bughouse, what we called Siamese chess in the Pacific Northwest, by the way, quickly became a favorite. I just loved it. Like, anybody who's ever done a chess camp, you could become the greatest coach ever by just letting the kids play, Bughouse the whole the whole day. Don't teach them a thing. Just let them play Bughouse. It'll be great. Anyway, I loved variants, and it was about, I'm going to say, July of last year that I really found, literally over the internet, bumped into Justin Yan Lee. And we played Crazyhouse together, and frankly, he mashed me. He just crushed me. And I determined
these were the legends of the battles between Seirawan and John Lee on Lee Chess that everyone knows about. Yeah.
Right. Well, then he wrote me, and he explained that he does a stream, and he invited me to the stream. And bingo, the next thing you know, I'm playing matches with the guy. And really, he's incredible. Each variant has something very unique and special about it. And in Crazyhouse, one of the most important things in Crazyhouse is the initiative. Holding and keeping the initiative is just huge. And I see that Jeffrey Zhang has joined the Crazyhouse tournament, and his rating is significantly higher than Justin's. Don't be fooled by that. Jeffrey's good, and he's very good in variants as well. In fact, I played a lot with Jeffrey, but Yan Lee, Justin, is just in a class by himself. I am so amazed. I mean, I'm in awe of the guy. Really.
Well, this is this is going to turn into a bit of a Jean Lee, I guess, worship fest, right? We're not worthy, right, but I think that's how you and I both feel. Talking off camera before we went live. Absolutely. To all of you here joining us. By the way, thanks to everybody who's here already on Twitch TV as well as Chess.com TV. We're just I had a similar story, which wasn't the same as far as the epicness of the match that you and Jean Lee threw down in, but but I was invited to play him, and I can say that the most comments in those videos and a lot of fans were pretty excited to see me get my proverbial bleep handed to me by Justin Tan. He let me have it. He's just a monster, and it's amazing. And I think that one of the things that is possibly most instructive about Crazyhouse, even though the circumstances are obviously very extreme, it's not the same as chess in the sense that, obviously you can't just drop pieces that you capture. But I think as far as seeing positions for the bigger picture, which is the ability to create threats, the ability to keep on tempo, is so important when on the attack. And there's definitely some really exciting and instructive moments that are really, original, in particular to Crazyhouse, when you see someone go to Sacktown and really just drive the nail home the whole way, right? So I think we're going to have you and I are going to have a lot of fun today looking at some exciting chess, and we're at T minus about 30 seconds here, Yaz. We've got the field, as you said. Jeffrey Zhang right there at the top, everybody. The man we've been talking about for the last 5 minutes, known as Justin Tan, Australian, and pretty, the unofficial or official best Crazyhouse player on the planet. Really, I think it's not really even an argument. The guy right behind him there, Andrew Tang, the Penguin GM, is also... Andrew is known really for his blitz skills. So look for, if he's going to make a move, you're going to see Andrew, Yaz. You're going to see him, playing quickly and winning in time scrambles, because he might be one of the fastest people on the planet. He's, as far as just pure mouse skills, he's on the level of Nakamura and these other guys. He's just out of this world fast.
All I can say to that is, whoa.
Right, exactly. And then we've got some other GMs there. You've got the young Russian star, right? Oparian Grigori. I mean, he's an up-and-coming stud, for sure, even though not necessarily a household name in Crazyhouse. And just like that, as I say, up-and-coming studs, here we go. You can pick your poison. I think I want to start right here, just like you do, with the man himself, Mr. Zhang Li. And what do we see right here as he takes on who is that? I don't even know how to say that username, so I'm not going to try.
Poker Face.
Poker Face. Okay, we'll call it that, yeah.
Well, one of the things that is unique, especially to chess variants, whether it's Bughouse or Crazyhouse, is openings. You can just be dead lost in Bughouse from a poor opening, and equally so in Crazyhouse. So one of the things that you really need to work on if you're going to become good at Crazyhouse is a good knowledge of openings. And normally speaking, it's about king safety. You want, centralized pieces, effectively traded pieces. It's all good, but it's really about king safety, because, man, when they go into berserk mode, you better have a safe king.
Yeah, and I was going to ask you about that. So this opening we see here that Zhang Li employs is something I've seen in some Crazyhouse games before. But what can you offer? What is, let's say we have fans in the stands who really, they want to take their Crazyhouse skills to the next level. What do you see about Black's position or White's position that you like or can offer some thoughts on? It looks like Black just gobbled up that pawn on b2, and one thing I'll say that Zhang Li, he does, even if he fails to convert an attack, like, maybe 1 in every 1,000 games, I very rarely see him getting in trouble early in the game. He knows how to develop his pieces so that his king stays safe. So what do you think about this position? I almost feel like he's already building up for what's going to be an epic finish over here on the light squares.
Absolutely. That's one of the important strategical undertakings of Crazyhouse is recognition of weak complexes, whether they're weak dark squares, or weak light squares. As you just pointed out, the pawn on e4 is simply huge. There's going to the pawn on, there's going to, like, rook takes a2 here is a very a move of great consideration, because you could follow it up with a pawn to h3. A lot of times pieces lose the value that we so pride them on when we're playing regular chess. In Bughouse, in Crazyhouse, it's all about the initiative and keeping it. Right now, one of the things that we're seeing that's happening to Poker Face is he's being tied down to that f4 pawn. But while he's simultaneously being tied down, black is actually doing something really cool. The bishop on h6 may look like, oh, it's just attacking and it's not doing too much and white's okay and blah blah blah. In fact, that bishop on h6 is a beautiful, beautiful defender of the king.
Okay.
And so it serves really, really nice double purposes.
Is it possible to say that it defends also just because it's on a square that prevents him from dropping a pawn or dropping a knight, right? When you fill those squares so that your opponent can't start dropping and opening up things. Right.
Now here, this sacrifice, exchange sacrifice on c5 was absolutely automatic.
Yeah.
Because you can see white's just about ready to get mangled on e3 followed by g2.
Yeah.
Here, bishop takes h3 is on tap.
Yep. You've got this queen over here just lingering back on the board, and she's maybe going to see a pawn dropped. Okay, he goes with the bishop, but at some point this diagonal is going to be what we prophesized earlier, lots of light square problems. I'm wondering if when Jean-Li's just going to go grab this c5 pawn and get the other lady involved, but maybe he doesn't need to just yet.
I had actually expected knight f5 on the previous turn, not h4. In principle, pawns are huge, absolutely huge in Crazyhouse, probably as much as a piece. And normally speaking, you don't want to play the move pawn to h4. You really want it, like right now, it would be ideal to put a pawn on g3.
Right.
This is
in this case, it's probably not going to matter. Yeah, this one looks like it's about to be over.
Exactly. So always when you're in a situation exactly like Jan-Li is right now, you just want to make sure, you want to double check that your opponent can't play knight to h6, check, another knight. You just want to make sure that there's no berserk method that you could lose the game, because Jana's just putting the finishing touches on this one. Knight g3 mate is next.
Yeah, and
oops, bishop e2. You could lose the game.
Simply a resignation there, and
Jana's just putting the finishing touches. Yeah, nice. Knight g3 mate is next. But basically, that was a clean takeout.
Yeah, and there were several clean takeouts in the first round. We didn't get to follow every game as closely as we'd like because the games are happening so fast. But we see that Chessbraw, that being Amon Hamilton, playing under the official Chessbraw account, he did win quickly. We saw that Helm's Knight, a growing celebrity in the chess streaming world, she did what she was supposed to do and took care of her low-rated opponent. Perhaps the biggest upset on paper to start round one was that Oparian Grigori, the young Russian future star, already a star, right? The super GM Yaz, he learned the lesson that we talked about, right? Just because you have a GM in front of your name, it doesn't mean you're going to do well in Crazyhouse, and it can get ugly very, very quick for some of these title players. We saw Georg Meyer play in the first Crazyhouse Championship, Yaz, that actually Amon and I did commentary for, and Georg did great. But then there were some games where you could just see that the Crazyhouse specialists were just too much, and that before we could say anything else, round two begins. Let's see what Jean-Li can do with the white pieces. Real quick, I got to give a shout out just because the chat is super busy and we have more than 2,000 of you hanging out with us here. With me is
Welcome,
Grandmaster.
Everyone.
You know this guy next to me. He doesn't even need an introduction. Grandmaster Yasser Seirawan, or this way, sorry, where the camera is. And this is the 2018 Crazyhouse Championship here on Chess.com. And it was a week of qualifiers, Yaz asked. So we had 10 qualifying tournaments. Each tournament seeded 10 players into what is this final championship here. This is going to be a 15-round event with some of the most exciting and crazy chess you ever see. If you don't know what Crazyhouse is, it's a variant that you're probably going to want to start playing if you've never seen it before. And Grandmaster Seirawan and I will have the call for the better part of the next 2 hours. So, all right, what's happening here? I'll tell you one thing I have to ask you for my own education, Yaz, is I always get confused how quickly I want to trade pieces or not in Crazyhouse. I know you say it's all about the initiative, right? So you should be making your assessments. Are you the one who's going to be able to place your pieces more quickly or whatever tempo moves you see? But is there any sort of tips you can offer about when you want to trade and get that kind of stockpile of pieces to place, or when you should be focused on using the pieces you already have on the board and bettering them and improving them?
Yeah, a lot of the time it's position specific. Normally speaking, you want to trade pieces when your opponent is helping you trade. Just so, for example, previous to bishop takes a6, if white had played bishop takes a6, knight takes a6, the knight on b8 obviously jumps out.
Right.
For free. Conversely, if black had played bishop takes e2, knight takes e2, thank you very much for that development. And so it's very critical when you're trading pieces to ask yourself the salient question, who benefits?
Right.
And in that particular case, by the way, Jan ended up winning a piece, so we can just simply say that, well, yeah, and that wasn't much of a trade.
Right, that worked out better
handsomely
than a normal trade.
Expected.
Here he's already got a little bit of a stockpile here, everybody. You can see that is how Crazyhouse works. You capture pieces, you get to place them back in your piece bank. Let's check back in with Jean-Lee in a second. We got to quickly say that we've already seen FIDE Master Slim CT, who just took down Oparian Grigori. He smashed his way through his second Grandmaster, beating Amon Hamilton here, Yaz, already, very quickly. So this FIDE Master may be somebody that we need to keep our eye on as we check over here on the standings, and we will keep our eye on that guy as he moves up. So several other games still going. One of the other non-titled but super high-rated players coming in was this guy right here, playing the white pieces. I'm sorry, Jean. I'm not exactly sure how I'm pronouncing that, but he's got Crazyhouse in his name, so he's pretty good at Crazyhouse, I guess.
Yeah, no, I call him Junet. He's really, really good. And in the preamble for the tournament, the article that was on Chess.com, I had actually put in the chat that I consider, while I consider Justin the overwhelming favorite, I think this guy, Junet, man, I think that if he gets on a roll, he's really, really dangerous. Yeah. I mean, it's amazing. Now, this is just a checkmate after
this guy, in just a couple of moves.
Bishop e6 and queen f5 mate.
You could place or move, and he chooses to use the lady he already has on the board. Back to Jean-Lee's games. We can't straight... Ooh! Yes. Anytime I see he's in check, I worry. But okay, I'm sure he's doing okay here. But anytime... that's how good he is. If he's
not so sure. I guess it just depends. Yeah, it looks okay. I mean, his opponent has a pretty good stack of pieces in hand.
He makes a defensive move there. By the way, everybody, the threat in that position for black, if white made a non-check move, was to drop a knight on e2, checkmate there. So,
exactly.
So there you go.
So that bishop g2 handsomely covered that threat, but now you have to be very careful.
Yeah.
Like if Justin had moved his queen, then there's always the threat of queen takes g2,
followed by drop the bishop and then just the mating net.
Drop things in, okay, but black has definitely got some initiative still.
Yeah,
I mean, Justin's not out of the woods here, not at all.
Yeah, not by any means. You're right. Now, at least in this position, there's no clear drop for black that keeps the tempos going, right? Black has run out of... I mean, there's a bishop, so he trades on f3, but anytime you don't play the check, you possibly turn the initiative back over to your opponent. The biggest thing I see right now, Yaz, is the time. Jean-Lee down to 18 seconds on the clock. That's probably more of a sign that this game didn't go his way than anything else, right? The fact that he was down on time, knowing he's one of the best players.
Absolutely. In my matches with Justin, he has an extraordinary ability to play quickly and stay ahead on the clock. Here, he's in trouble. There's no question. What's this? This looks like this should be a mate.
There's got to be a mate on the board. Knight g6, king runs.
Queen g2. Queen g2 check.
Queen g2. If the king goes to d4, queen d5 is just mate, so he has to drop on f3.
And now we capture on f3 and then c2.
He takes
capturing on c2 first.
Now he can drop on f5, but he better mate, because if there's no mate, white's threatening queen takes f7. So there's got to be a mate here. Where's the mate?
Exactly. Well,
Now it comes
yeah,
a
that's
piece to
always a good
e5.
start.
Ooh, why'd he
Ooh,
move the knight?
Justin, that blundered.
Oh, he
Oh,
had no pieces to place.
no, he could have put the pawn on e5.
He doesn't have any pawns.
What's this on Justin's? Uh, Justin, I see a pawn and a bishop. He had nothing in hand.
I don't think so. Either that or he just blundered, and I'm missing the.
See, exactly at this moment, I'm seeing two pawns and a bishop
Okay,
for
okay. The
Justin.
game ended, I guess, so it reset it on my side. But yeah, so then it was a
Okay,
blunder. So he should have dropped a piece instead of moved the knight.
might have been a mouse slip, but that's a big upset as
That's
we
a
get
huge
ready for
upset.
round three.
Right. As we check over here on the standings, everybody, we're going to see that already, right there at the top. Actually,
Doesn't look like it's updated, Danny.
not updated yet. It's not updated yet.
But
So
I did see that Jeffrey Zhang started with two out of two.
oh no, it is updated. For some reason, it was listing the higher rated player there. But as we see, this is where the group of those sitting at 2 out of 2. Now, one FM, I'm not sure if you're familiar with who he is, but Chicken Crossroad is actually Daniel Yeager, and yes,
Okay.
he actually he actually uh, won the first Crazy House championship with Justin Tan. He tied for first. So
Woo!
Daniel Yeager, not quite as well known in the Crazy House world, but he's actually more well known as a bug house specialist.
Uh-huh.
And but he tied for first in our first ever Crazy House championship. And so look for FM Chicken Crossroad to be there in the end as well.
Very good. By the way, the opponent Mugwort is somebody I've played as well, and also a very dangerous opponent. Well, everybody's dangerous in
Yeah.
Crazy House, but I have my suspicions that there are certain favorites. Maybe they haven't performed well yet, but I'm looking forward to an eventual matchup between Jeffrey and Justin.
Yeah, I
We'll
agree.
see how that goes. H3, by the way, was a great move by black. The whole idea is G takes H3, knight F3 check, a royal fork against king and queen, black wins. So white with the move bishop B5 check, not that bad, but he still got to deal with this threat of takes on G2 and knight F3 check.
Yeah, and
He's trying in this way, but I don't think this is the right way to go about it. Normally, you have to put a bishop on F1 in those positions. We'll see if Chicken Crossroads can make something happen here. By the way, he does have an out. He has bishop H5 check and potentially covering F3 that way. He's played bishop F3 right away. Okay, decent move. Now he can play rook G1 comfortably without worrying about a knight coming to F3. But bishop E5 is a blast. Great. Ooh. Bishop E5 would have hit the queen and hit the pawn on H2 as well. That
well,
was a
he's
big miss.
trying to divert the bishop so he can use the F3 square for the knight, everybody. But maybe it's maybe
I
something
think
white.
I
Go
think
ahead.
that was a missed opportunity for sure, Danny. The bishop on E5 hitting that
Yeah.
H2 pawn, hitting the queen. Yeah, I was thinking about knight G5 with the idea of F7. I was oscillating between F7 at once, followed by knight G5, or as chosen, the immediate knight G5.
Shout out to everybody who's with us. The Chess TV chat. Lots of you. RSK, Leela, Vampire Slayer, Nicholas126, Chess Bay, Sam Copeland, Perpetual Stalemate, all the regular Twitch chatters. Thanks to everybody who's here. Really appreciate it. Hope you're having fun. Sorry about that, Yaz. Just checking in with our peeps.
I
Well, so
exactly.
he does eventually drop this bishop on h5, and just as we saw Jean Lee go down, the heavy pre-tournament favorite, everybody, lost a game in the last round if you're just joining us, and Daniel Yeager is FM Chicken Crossroad. He's also should be one of the favorites, but he's under some pressure here against Mugwort.
He's definitely in Busto City here. This has really gone badly wrong, which is very very typical in Crazy House. You have a bad opening. It's in when you're facing a really good opponent, it's almost impossible to recover from a bad opening. Here, F3 checks an automatic, knight e5 check automatic. Oh, you got another game.
Jeffrey Zhang
suffering.
is
Jeffrey suffering there.
let's check on his game right here. I'm looking for it on our main board. Where is Jeffrey's game?
Yeah.
Okay. We are
It may have been finished.
may have just finished. Okay. So Jeffrey's just finished. So we'll stick here with Chicken Crossroad. I guess the king is coming to E3. We could see some fireworks here any moment.
Well, there was some very strange
Yeah, I was going to say, it looks like Black
there.
is losing his initiative, and now White has built up a pretty strong piece bank, as you can see there, and maybe at some point White starts flipping the script here, launching an attack of his own.
Absolutely, but no, it's still Black for choice. A lot of nice things happening here for Black. Ooh, giving up the initiative like that. Don't like that decision by Black, as White is making a comeback suddenly. Oh, great move. Knight takes e5, and now this should be what? This should have been a takeout. I don't like that decision. Queen d3 check. Maybe he just didn't have enough firewood.
Yeah, well, now where's the king going to run to, right? If he goes to e7, the other knight comes to d5, I was going to say, which clears up the f5 square, and here he goes. The assault is on.
Whoa!
I think the biggest issue here is Mugwort. You know what happened, Yaz? I think Mugwort looked at the time and kind of smelt an opportunity to flag him, but sometimes that backfires, right? You start playing too fast to flag him, and you lose your position.
Absolutely.
Wow. This is all about who can capture and drop pieces faster. Don't you love sudden death chess?
8 seconds to 3 seconds.
Don't you love the non-increment chess?
Ooh,
he's got mate now. F1 is falling and it's over. With only 2 seconds left, though, can he do it? He's got the king takes d2. He had king takes d2.
Oh man, Mugwort. Oh man, that 3-minute boy.
He had no time, but Black dropped a knight here, everybody, cutting off the bishop's protection of the other bishop, and White could have taken, but okay, the time was, I mean, no seconds, and
right.
So
those 3 seconds, I swear to God, you're playing 3-minute chess. Those 3 minutes tick down faster. I mean, it's like the space-time continuum is changed.
No, it's and you're constantly trying not to look at the clock, because the moment you look at the clock, you lose a little more time, and you just know you have to move as fast as possible. Oparian Grigori is the game on screen right now, highest rated, probably over the board chess player in today's event, right there with Jeffrey Zhang, right? Him and Zhang and Grigori. But as you can see, everybody, there's the standings right now. Terra 87, a complete no-name on 3 of 3. The big names are all around that 2 of 3 zone, besides Jeffrey Zhang, right? Jeffrey Zhang right now is maybe one of the only big names we talked about before the event, sitting at 3 of 3. So why don't we go over and follow Jeffrey's game here for this round? He is Black against Russ Magic. And what do we got here?
First impressions is Jeffrey's okay. Very weak, tender c7 square. Always very vulnerable to knight forks and the like. But White has 3 pawns.
This looks more like a regular chess game than almost anything you see to start a Crazyhouse game, right? I mean, this is
right.
I mean, okay. Besides, we've got these pawns sitting over here on the side of the board. Here, Black is the first one to drop. Okay, so I think White should respond with knight g5, and so how do you decide? Here's another question, a pro tip from. I'm going to get all the knowledge out of you I can. How do you decide when? Let's say there's the option, if you had a knight on g5, Yaz, to both, drop a pawn on e6 to pry open squares, or to make a more direct sort of sacrifice with the attempt to then continue attacking on the light squares but sort of draw the king out. Is there any sort of general criteria besides specific to the position and calculate, or do you have any tips about that?
I think both are good. I mean, you're definitely on the right track. You're looking in the right direction, and the knight sacrifices, knight takes f7. When you don't have a knight in a hand, they can oftentimes fizzle out,
right?
Much to your detriment. So the pawn coming to e6 is, unless you have knights, It's
Right.
the choice.
So you
Now,
don't just want to sacrifice to open up squares just because, right? You want to have the pieces
right,
to follow up. And shout out to Chess
exactly.
Coach Net, who just subscribed, a 3-month subscriber. Thank you there, Coach. Really
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Now here, Jeffrey made an amazingly bad decision in my view. He played knight e5 to g4. Now White has a great opportunity to play knight c7 check and seize the initiative. I thought that Jeffrey should have dropped back with his knight on e5 back to the g6 square in case a pawn came to d6. Then you can go queen b2, seize the initiative yourself. As it is,
Wow. As it is,
this just looks busted.
We're getting
This just looks
a
busted
nightmarish position here.
because the king on e8 is basically trapped. That
Right,
pawn
and
on e7 is a monster.
I mean, you're looking at a million ways for White to drop checkmate in one move. Everybody, a queen is
Right.
preparing to enter.
That's it. That's it.
I mean, at this point, Black is probably just completely busted, right?
Right. Now, Jeffrey may have to go berserk mode, knight d3 check,
Right.
take it, f2 check.
Right.
But without the benefit of a knight to be able to follow it up on with knight g4, I think it's too
Interesting
late.
move there. He both tries to help his attack, everybody, as well as guard the checkmate in one. The problem is the d6 square, really even the f6 square. There's a lot of other options for White to keep the attack going.
Queen d8 has to be mate. It's just, I'm sure queen d8 was a forced mate after it takes, and you drop in. You've got so many minor pieces in your hand, and pawns too.
So you would have suggested queen d8, make the trade, drop another pawn on c7 maybe, and kind of keep the attack going?
Probably a bishop, actually. Probably a bishop. But bishop e3 is certainly a consolidating move, I guess.
Well, right now, Jeffrey's surviving kind of on his opponent's lack of execution, though. I agree. His opponent isn't really putting the game away with checks, which gives Jeffrey a chance.
Precisely. Now here, rook f1 check is forced, followed by king takes f1, queen d1 check, and Jeffrey's got an outside shot because he's going to have a bishop coming to a6. He's got a pawn in hand too. So queen d1 check and e2 check. That looks like mate. Looks like
funny comment
Jeffrey.
from Go Betty in the Twitch chat responding to what you said to my idea. You said you're on the right track, and they said every grandmaster to an international master from time to time. So I need the compliments from you. I have zero ego about my Crazyhouse skills, as I told you before the show here. I am like I love hearing when you say you're on the right track, Danny. That's what I want to hear.
You're really close, Danny.
You're really close with the hand gestures.
Really close, Jeffrey.
I'm a mile apart.
Really close. He missed queen e1 mate.
Did he really?
He just played queen.
Oh my
D1
gosh!
check. Queen
Black,
e1.
Black could have dropped a queen mate. Everybody.
Ooh, now that's terrible. Essentially, he's busted again.
He's really running out of opportunities now because he may have finally met his end of checks to distract the fact that White is threatening queen mate.
Right.
He's going to try to deflect the knight so he can play queen takes f3 at some point. He's in all-out attack mode with checks, hoping to flag his opponent before he gets mated.
King
c5, and there's no. He probably has to. I thought he would take the knight. He's running, but it's mate. Knight queen g5 was mate. He missed it. Queen g5 is mate. He found it at the last second.
Ooh.
Wow.
With 1.9 seconds on the clock. Oh, Jeffrey is probably so upset with himself.
He's got to be kicking himself. And again, everybody, it's not just because he lost, but because as Yaz said, back in this moment, you can see that he dropped the queen on d1 when queen e1 was mate. That's one that helps. That's one that helps you lose sleep at night, if that's something you're looking for, right? That it helps you lose sleep, as they say. All right. Well, we go back to the standings and check here as the next round is underway. We need to. We're going to be working on just showing you who are still active in the tournament. At the top there, it shows you people that have actually withdrawn from the event. So we'll skip past that. Not exactly sure why Andrew Tang withdrew. Somebody we were saying was a favorite, so that's strange.
A couple of fellas on 4 out of 4.
Yeah, and there we have Jean Lee. Look at that, creeping back into the standings. So we turned away from him after he he lost us. You and I are like
Yeah.
we're giddy schoolgirls when it comes to Jean Lee. We're big fans.
Exactly.
So
Exactly. Now, White just made this move. Um, uh, Justin has to be C2 squares and C7 squares are
yeah,
really, really dangerous
right.
squares.
Because those are
Here,
squares
knight
you can
E2,
drop. You can
bishop
drop
E3.
pieces on, right?
Yeah, so his opponent, Nicholas, just sacrificed a piece so that he could drop a pawn on
Right.
C2. He may not get a payoff here because there's Queen H5.
Yeah, Queen H5 will
Queen
be threatening mate. But
H5
what
is
Yaz said
very
there,
annoying.
everybody, for all you fans and beginners, maybe new to Crazy House, that's a super instructive takeaway. So much so that you see Jean Lee, Crazy House Master, look how he's willing to give up his queen just to change the initiative on these squares. So one of the things that Yaz has been saying this whole time is the reason you don't push those pawns, and because every piece you move is an open square for your opponent to then drop pieces on, right? Yes. So at the
Absolutely.
moment that happens, that's like an alarm clock that should go off for you as far as recognizing just how much of a problem it can be when you've opened up squares for your opponent to drop pieces on.
Now, I gotta say, bad news for ourselves. Justin just looks like he's in bad form right now. I mean, he made two egregious errors. The first was C3. The second was playing Queen takes C2 when he had the much superior move Queen H5. Even if his opponent took a knight on B1 and took a queen, it takes a rook on B1. The queens are just so very valuable,
Yeah.
and I think he's just about to be
But
punished here.
you and I have
Things are
talked about his affinity for giving up the majors for the minors, right? Before the show went
yes,
live today, you and I
loves
were doing our research, and as I already admitted, we're both huge fanboys for Jean Lee Crazy House. He's the best
yeah.
Crazy House player in the world, but we talked about his willingness to just sacrifice big pieces, maybe sometimes too quickly. Is that a fair
Yeah,
thing to say? Is that kind of what
I
you're
think
saying
so.
here?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's exactly the case. Now this is uh, Jan showing some class. A lot of people would have played Bishop E2, Knight D2. Rook G1 has this very, very cruel idea of, first of all, fortressing G2, but in a lot of cases where Black would have captured twice on F3, well, then that rook not only serves defensive but also offensive purposes.
Right.
So that's a top class move.
And here he comes with F6, right? By the way,
Right.
Nicholas Thies is also somebody who has a regular stream. Shout out to Nicholas, and does Crazy House, plays Crazy House, I think, all over the web on all sites that offer it. And he's a well-known member of the Crazy House community, Yasser, and a
Exactly.
pretty good player. But we'll see how Jean Lee handles this kind of making up for his queen loss. He loves
Well,
the
yeah,
minors, and he's got a lot of minors right now. A lot of
yeah,
minors.
he's climbed his way back into the game, and that move Rook G1 really, star effort, no question. I still think that Black uh, should be boss, but like you were saying, look at those minors. Bishop
Right.
coming to G7 with a threat of check. Pawn takes F6 with the threat of putting pawn on either E7 or G7. Black does have issues. Bishop G7 is an automatic.
Got it. Well, now he's going
Take
to
the rook.
continue the assault on the dark squares.
Take the rook. Bravo. Nice. Now all kinds of threats are appearing. Rook G8 is the biggest one, but there's knight F6 as well. That will force Black to give up his queen. And notice that White's king is pretty safe. Now you have to be careful. Knight takes F6 would lose for White. Knight takes F6, queen takes F6, followed by knight G3 check and knight F2 mate.
Wow. Nice Crazy House calculation there, Yaz.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes you've been told that you're the Morgan Freeman of chess, and I gotta say I agree. Your voice is, I don't want this to get weird or anything, but sometimes your voice pops into my head at night when I'm thinking about chess moves. Okay, you're like Morgan. It's like the voice of God in chess. It's like Yasser Seirawan's smooth educational moments brought to you by the dreams of Danny Rensch. So there you go.
Well, there you go. By the way, the clock has become a decisive factor as well.
Well, and Jean Lee completely turned this around, right? I mean, now
big time.
He's got the initiative appearing all over the place. One thing I just highlighted on the board, and I'm going to say that I know that an amateur like me is very quick triggered when it comes to dropping pieces for check. Whereas I
Yes.
notice how disciplined the best players are about bringing their pieces into the game and using the pieces already on the board. And I know that that's kind of just an obvious self-reflection, like thanks, Captain Obvious, Danny, right? But I do think that that's
Right.
something I notice when I watch the stronger players play that I should consistently be more aware of.
Well, having said that, my advice to just like 99%
Okay.
of Crazy House players is drop when you can drop pieces on the board with check, do it.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you, I've lost hundreds of games, and everybody else will have lost hundreds of games too, having a box full of pieces on the
Hmm.
side of the board, like that
Right.
never got into the
No,
game
and that's
whatsoever.
I think that's why it's like once I have it, it's like money I have to spend, right? I don't
Exactly.
want to die holding this in my pocket. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
so
You can't take it with you.
yeah.
Here,
Well,
I like what White
Gregorius.
was doing.
Yeah, I love why mainly from time too. Even if he's losing the attack, he did exactly what he needed to do to put Grigori away under time pressure. So
White won on time with some very, very nifty,
where does that
we
put us
call
in
them
terms
spike
of our
checks.
standings? We see that more title players dropping out, not having their best chess right there, and
Right.
now we've got a standings list that has Russ Magic still on 5 of 5.
Not
The
bad.
Crussian Russian, who we don't know who he is. Yaz
The
is
Crushing Russian.
Crussian Russian, and you've got Jeffrey Zhang and Jean Lee at 4 of 5. So
Oh
some
my
some
gosh,
household
Jeffrey's
names,
coming back.
as you said
Yeah, yeah,
too. Jeanette Crazy House is also right there. So anybody's tournament at this point still, and
right. All to
where would
play
you like
for.
to take our analysis this time? With so many options, we have Chicken Road versus Helm's Knight. Let's take a look at this one here. It's two players we haven't
Okay.
talked about just yet. So how
Now,
do you
by the
handle
way,
that moment right there, Yaz? We've got this moment right here where White was in check, and you don't want to push this pawn because you don't want to open up that square. But what would be your advice for the fans on that about how to handle checks like that?
sometimes you got no choice. And in
Okay.
that particular moment, Helm's Knight didn't want to drop her knight back and allow bishop takes and
Right.
knight e4. So, I mean, sometimes you got to make these weakening moves. And, well, she's dealing with it. Now, knight h4. By the way, I've played against Helm's Knight, and she's beaten me quite a number of games. So, hat tip off to her. But knight h4, no excuse for that move. That move is just way, way, way too slow for the position. She must have had, now she puts her knight back on f3. She must have had something in mind, but there, of course, she was fearful that black was about to put a pawn on d2 with check. That was why she played the move knight f3. But the move prior to that, knight on f3 to h4, that was really bad. She should have just played bishop e2 and got on with her business. Now, this is bad too because, oh, pardon me, she put a pawn on h3. That was very good. Had she played h2, h3, pawn comes to g3 would have been lights out.
I don't know if I have anything valuable to add to what you just said.
Except that
I'm just
bishop
listening.
takes f3 was egregious.
Yeah, that was.
Black should have played g2.
It's
Chicken
almost
should have
never a
played
trade you want to
d2.
make when you're not opening up new squares or new avenues for the initiative, right? I mean, it's just
Right.
at that point, it's just sort of pieces you're handing back to your opponent.
Right. And here again, with the bishop on g4, there was a pawn coming on d2. Now, bishop a3, that's a head scratcher. Okay, I understand black wants an initiative, but for example, bishop d3, bishop b2, castles, bishop takes c1, it's your turn.
Right.
Now you get to attack. So I think now is a good time to
For her
get
to
out
turn
of
it around.
Dodge.
Yeah, this is her chance. Even with it being her chance to turn around, this is an interesting thing to highlight for our members. Obviously, Daniel Yeager, pretty experienced. When you use those sort of squares to pry away protection, you see it sometimes on the king side with the drops on h3. Everything is about opening up new squares and new avenues of attack, and that's exactly what he's trying to do. But
I think Chicken Crossroads has played really, really well. That bishop a3 idea, which I was a bit skeptical of, has worked out really nicely. He's just followed it up with a3, and I think he didn't need to do that. Bishop b5 check really looked promising there, as well as here he wants to play bishop b2, as well as simple development. Knight
Right.
d7, rook c8, and let's get on with business. That would have been very, very nice as well.
And now
Here,
whenever there's a pawn on the second rank and you're not taking it immediately, you're just fearful of tactics. Black obviously only has one bishop to drop, possibly for check, everybody, but if Black can do any sort of initiative move or even just take on c3, it's going to be a nightmare for White to worry about the king and this pawn promoting at the same time.
well, I really like dropping in the bishop. Once a pawn comes to d3, I really like taking that pawn.
Oh, I was going to say, can we take this one? Okay, why do you like d3 better than the other one? Just because you can immediately follow with check? Is that it?
Yeah, on queen takes, I would put the other pawn down. Now here, I was going to say knight takes c3, opening up the possibility of dropping a pawn with e4, but this just looks like it's over. And again, it just goes to show, the initiative.
Right.
And it's all about the king's position. Here it's, I don't think there's any escaping the fate here. White's doomed. You take on c3 twice, there's rook c1 check.
Right, or rook c. Yeah, the more and more pieces start coming in with tempi, you got problems.
No, I mean that because Black has just captured the rook on c3, now Black is threatening rook c1 check.
You mean?
This is nice too.
Okay.
Now he's threatening mate on the spot.
Wow! And she just throws in the towel here, mainly because of time as well. Not really in her favor or on her side, as they say.
But here, this is a beautiful position for Black's king.
Obviously, Black's king is completely untouchable, and let's see what's going on with Jean-Lee. Although, right as I say that, the commentators curse for his opponent, FIDE master Amidel, goes down swinging.
Okay.
Unfortunately,
so
everyone's favorite chess bra also went down again. Amon will now be at 3 out of 5 as he was unable to handle this FIDE master.
Tough field.
Tough field, absolutely. And speaking of that field, let's go back to the standings here, and we see we have Russ Magic still right there at the top. Jean-Lee not far behind, 5 out of 6, only the single loss that we know of. What about Jeffrey Zhang? Is he still? He is. And ooh, we got to catch this one. Time is ticking, and we are up against it. He only has 2 seconds, though. He has to move fast. It's just going to be a matter of who drops faster, and he wins because of the drop. Just because, everybody, that's what the practical blitz chess is, right? White dropped the queen on d7, knowing that it's not really a good move at all. Black can simply capture the queen, but just enough to make Black lose on time due to being surprised.
That half second. Go back to move 38 for just a second, because I thought there was some odd. Jeffrey could have dropped a queen on h3 and was winning.
Yeah, because if king g1, knight takes f3, and if king h1,
bingo.
Queen, I see now. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. He was winning that game, but
it's almost sad for us now. We've seen 2 games where Jeffrey gave away the win, right? One, a literal missed mate by dropping the queen on the wrong square, and this one just about close to it. Talk a little bit, this is also a bug house thing. Talk a little bit about the strategy of this opening here, Yaz, where Black just gives up the knight on f6.
It's a brilliant decision.
Okay.
Because essentially knights need targets. And this whole piece sacrifice is based on central control, safety for the king, and not giving the white knight. White has an extra knight, a target. Like if you look at this position, the best move for white is something like knight h5. Okay, targeting the pawn on g7. But with the bishop on f8, whoops.
Sorry. So back to this position, you're saying that with the bishop on f8 and the pawn on f6. There's no way target for white to use that extra knight.
That's right. Let's see what happened, because Black has just fallen for a tactic. He's allowed knight d5, and now it's splat. Okay, now it's all over, of course. Something went very badly wrong here.
Well, it seems like maybe Black, after playing this opening we like, gets a little unnecessarily aggressive here.
Risky, yeah.
Normally, does Black really want to keep doing? Can't you just develop here as Black? Or
Precisely.
Right? Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, bishop f5, knight c6.
I'm pretty sure I first had that opening with the knight sack played against me by Levon himself at a late night where he dished out more than good chess moves, a lot of verbal abuse by Aronian. So a lot of trash talking. But
well, no, I mean that he's one of the best. I mean,
he might be the world's best chess player and trash talker combined into one, right? I mean, if you're taking both skills of chess and trash talking.
Yeah, and these are necessary requirements if you really want to, stand out.
Right.
By the way, h6. We appreciate such kind of soft moves because Black really wants to play f5. What
guards
the
the g5
h4. But in principle, Crazyhouse does not permit you such niceties. You got to hit the anvil, really, really hard. And that move h4 by White, I don't know. Justin he just looks in bad shape. I don't know what to say. F4, not a bad
he's honestly almost playing faster than I normally see him play, and maybe some moves played a little bit too quickly. Because you're right. This is such a weird move, given that he completely turned around the initiative to Black on the dark squares, which is not it's not Jean-Lee Crazyhouse chess, right? He's not using his extra queen wisely here. It's an interesting stylistic thing, right? Yes, we saw him do better where he gave up his queen early on c2.
That's right.
And he really likes the minors in Crazyhouse and will almost compromise what should be played just to get those positions. And here we see him kind of struggling with two ladies that are, frankly, in terrible spots.
This is not how to treat a lady.
That's not how to treat a lady, right?
Right. Well, here you go. He does now. He's going to take on c6. Give him himself.
But Black has got f2 and g3 and so many squares here.
No, that was a very, very wise decision because there was a threat of f2 and knight c3. Notice that Black has a knight in hand that he was going to put on c3 after f2 check. Now you can take on the knight after f2, king over, and you can hopefully run away.
He might just give the queen back and keep running this way. Although it's still risky. Yeah, but okay.
Okay, but White is.
Oh, this is exactly the line that happened in the game. That's we're gonna find out. Okay.
Okay. Now guessing moves in Crazyhouse is hard.
It's pretty hard.
Them at 3 minutes,
right?
At 3 is harder yet. But wait a minute. Hold on.
He got a check,
now,
and if this knight follows it,
there's a knight a5 check, and look at that. There's knight f5 check.
I'm anticipating knight dropping right here, right? On
right.
E5.
Knight e5 check. Sorry.
And then
there's a knight e5 check, but there's not enough follow.
Yeah, there's not.
Maybe you just got to pull in your. Well, he's done it. I was about to say you could pull in your horn. There's a queen.
There he deflected the. That was a nice idea, right? He was pointing out that the bishop didn't want to take it for fear of opening up f7 and then mate on g6. Everybody.
Right.
Interesting.
Mate
okay,
on
so
h7
now
and g6. Yeah. Okay.
But he's still out of follow-ups here.
The problem is what Justin is facing is vicious counterattack with d2 check and queen e1 check. And he's got to be able to make sure that he has resources that he can put on the board.
Has there been a dull moment in today's? I mean, literally, it feels like every game starts and we're instantly back to 20 seconds on the clock. Yes, with mate on the board, right? This is crazy.
Telling you, that 3 minutes, it just goes by in an
so fast. Ooh, and here we go. He's on the attack. He's going to drop the rook next. Oh, I thought he.
I don't know.
I thought he was going to drop the rook to open up the d2 square for a pawn. I thought that was better, but he didn't.
Exactly. Now, Justin. Because there was rook a3 check. I was a little bit curious why Justin did not play king f3. I'm afraid there might have been.
I'm not even sure what the rules are of draws. Is a draw legal in Crazyhouse? Apparently it is. Obviously, because they just drew, right? Yeah. I didn't know if it was like Bughouse where there are no draws.
By the way, big escape there. Justin was busted. I mean, when he had his queen on h2 and the guy was just crawling all over those dark squares.
Or the position we were talking about here, we were talking about dropping the rook to deflect the knight and then bring the pawn in and get mate with I think I think this was better, but okay, maybe a
No,
missed opportunity.
no. I was expecting that after Queen Rook check,
Yeah.
uh, oops,
No,
White would
no,
have
no
had.
analysis for the weary, as they say, right?
Exactly.
The moment we start to actually ask sane questions like what happened in that game,
No,
the next round starts. So,
it's fast. It's
well,
fast. Jeffrey at 4.5 out of 7. How is our cruise in
I was
Russian
just going to
doing?
say, checking on the standings there, we can see Jeffrey at 4.5 out of 7, not at the top. If we go,
No,
oh, Jeffrey actually withdrew with 4.5 out of 7. That's why he was at the top. So not his best day. He decides
I
to throw
see.
in the towel.
So we have a 6.5. We have
Little
uh,
Plotkin, the one
Plotkin.
who just drew against Jean-Lee Crazyhouse, is maintaining a point lead over the reigning Crazyhouse World Champion, unofficially or officially.
Yeah,
But
official.
then we have a number of people at 6 out of 7 as well. So we're starting to see it getting a little bit of separation, though, of those near the top, and not as many people with the same score, right? Only a few on 6 of 7. This game here already looks like Chicken
No, no.
Crossroad.
Yeah, this is just a classic crazy house sacrifice.
Yeah.
You know, luring out your opponent's king, even at the cost of a queen
Yeah.
that
No,
you
he
have follow up.
sacrificed on f7 everybody just to get the king out, make the king go
Right.
walking, and see if he's wearing
The,
his running shoes, because most likely he's not. The
but look at the kind of threats. First of all, knight takes c6,
Yep.
followed by knight g5 check threats. Secondly, d4 followed by knight g5 checks and knight g5 and then a mate on f um, uh, a fork on
One
f7.
of the
Sorry.
reasons why Yeager Chicken Crossroad just went into such a deep think there is he knows this is critical, right? He knows he needed. Wow, that's an
He had to
interesting.
give something back. He
Yeah,
had to
he
give
had to give
something back.
something back.
I don't think that White should have actually
I was going to
allowed
say,
that.
I wonder if White shouldn't have settled on the queen trade and maybe tried to keep the king in the middle, because now look at the piece bank
Well,
on the
here,
left, right? Black has more.
there's knight takes c6. Knight takes c6,
Mm.
important move to lure that king back out in the center. You got queen d8 check,
Yeah.
and White's got a lot of pawns in his pocket. Pawns are huge in this game because of their ability to promote and cover squares. So here, queen d8 is the real problem.
Yep.
And if you play a move like bishop b7, for example, then a pawn's going to drop on e6. Ooh, this
Here he
looks.
comes. Now he's got the c6 square.
No, what was that? That was really wrong. Queen g5, queen b5 check, and e5 check would have probably won on the spot. E5 check, and then take the knight.
Yeah, and open
And
up. Now that knight's coming into any one of these squares, and this king
it's toast.
is
But what he
running out of
did,
squares to run to.
but what he did instead was e5 check. And now, after queen c6 check, king d8, you're back in business.
Yep.
Black is perfectly safe, and you know he's got plenty
Yeah,
of
here comes knight drop on
ammunition.
d3, maybe. Or how do you handle this when you've got a couple of options to drop and then open up more avenues of
Almost
droppage?
almost always you want to open up things on the flanks. So
Okay.
here, if I was going to drop, I would drop on
Three
f3
and
with
opened
a
up g2. Okay.
exactly. Bishop g5, not a bad move.
He's
But
threatening a mate idea. He's got ideas where
well, he's
he's
got knight c3. Knight c3 covers the business squares e2 and d1.
uh-huh.
Okay, this is automatic. Now you play queen d6, so you hope the guy trades queens
That's what
and
he
he helps you develop.
that's what he should have done,
Okay,
right? He should have dropped
right,
the queen on d6. Okay.
automatic.
I feel like you're just like a wealth of wisdom over there, the Morgan Freeman of chess.
There
Shout
we
out real quick to all the people in the chat, all of our subscribers, all of our premium members, all the support we get from the chess community. Thanks for helping make this event possible. We've had a lot of comments, Yaz, from people like, "What in the bleep is this? I'm new to chess. I can't handle this crazy house stuff." But hopefully they'll stick around long enough to see that it's a pretty fun way to play chess. So, all right, well,
it, it's a great variant. It really is, folks. Obviously, every time you capture one of your opponent's pieces of pawns, it turns into your army. So if you capture a queen, you got a queen that
Yep,
you can put
right
anywhere on the
here.
board. Pawns go anywhere on the board except the first or eighth rank.
And we see the issue here is exactly what Yaz is talking about.
Mate.
Black has a whole lot of pieces just raring to go on the side of the board, and White needs a knight, White needs a pawn, White needs something to get at this king. Otherwise, Black is dropping checkmates probably in numerous ways. You can't even really take here because then the knight drops on
No.
f4 with check. The question is
That's right.
here, Yaz, will White delay things long enough for Black to lose on time? He's only got 15 seconds.
Well, he's going to have to play queen f6 and knight.
Oh, he anticipated this so well. Look at
Yes,
that,
he
instantly
did.
dropping on d1 and taking everybody. If king takes, the rook mates on f1. I think White might even just resign here. If the king comes out, knight drops. Actually,
Right.
several ways to drop the knight for mate at some point here.
Yeah.
Rook. And it's
Yeah.
over. That
Nice.
was nicely. You can see why Yeager is one of the reigning defending champions there, right? That was a great performance by Black.
Exactly, but the move. Go back to move 25 for just a second, and I know we're in a time crunch. Instead, the move f3, an automatic for Z-House players is to take on f6 and put a knight either on c3 or e3.
Okay.
To keep the game alive. I mean, you've got seconds on the clock, and you got to make as many problems for your opponents as possible.
No, yes, that's genius by you, because honestly, that might have been what White needed to get Black to lose on time. That was exactly what he needed. Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
Okay.
And with the pawn on d7, you're ready to queen. Who knows, on a good day, maybe even bishop e8. Well, that was fun.
That was fun. And just like that, we have some more fun here coming up. You see a lot of the title players dropping out. We've got Grandmaster Sam Sevian, Grandmaster Jeffrey Zhang, Oparian Grigori. Not their best day. This is down to the Crazyhouse specialists right now.
Precisely.
With National Master. Just
because
you're
an international grandmaster doesn't mean that.
I learned that when Aronian told me. He said, "You're the weakest IM I've ever seen at Bughouse." I said, "Thank you, Lev. Really, at least I'm something." Anyway. So no, title means nothing when it comes to Crazyhouse or Bughouse. But here we got Jean Lee back at it again, taking on Master Tan Crazyhouse, which is another Justin Tan, by the way. We have, I believe this is the Justin Tan that's playing.
That's right. Some good games.
And we are back. Hi, everybody. Believe it or not, the power went out in the entire building. Actually, this entire office unit, the power just went out, came back on. But guess who's back on? Grandmaster Yasser Seirawan. And by the way, just so you know, Yaz just sat here the whole time and just kept doing commentary like a pro. So he didn't go.
Yeah, right.
Yaz didn't go anywhere. And anyway, but power is not going to stop this show. Yaz, where are we at? Jean Lee obviously won when I lost all connection to the world.
Right. I thought it was that net neutrality kicking in, the FCC explaining that we were having too much fun online.
Too much fun.
And we were
Hey,
taking
it's not.
too much.
We're not into it. We're not. Hey, that much clean fun doesn't belong on the internet. You know what I'm saying? That much clean fun is not something they're into.
Exactly. Now, a very, very classical sacrifice on the G7 square in order to win control over the dark squares. That F6 bishop is just simply huge in the position. There is no knight G5 check because there's no queen going to H5. Now, E7 is forlorn. There's no way he's moving that. And in fact, all White needs to do is trade queens here. Mm-hmm. So how could Jan Lee best do that? I was thinking of C3. He decided on castles. I don't like that move by... I'm telling you, Justin is not up to his usual crushing
perfect form. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's good to be king. It's good to not be up to your usual perfect form, Yaz, but still be in second place, right? So we'll see if he can pull it off, even though he seems to be a little bit less sharp than we normally see him.
Definitely. And by the way, there's a mate in the position. If Black had a rook in hand, knight h3 and rook g1 is automatic. So now the move queen takes b2 is a very purposeful move, as is queen takes d4. But because of the threat of knight h3 and mate, I was looking at trying to nibble a major there with Queen B2. And
Nibbling a major. I'm gonna
nibbling a
TM that. That was great.
But I don't like this movie either. What is? Oh, it's like Justin is off on the wrong track altogether.
Well, the biggest thing that I makes me agree with you, besides I believe you, but where's the pieces, right? He has no pieces in his piece bank. Black is the one with all the potential in this position, and
exactly. Ooh,
and
I think he's cruising for a bruising is poor Justin here. Now here he takes on F7, takes on A1. He does have the move G6 so that there's no knight H3, rook G1 smothered mate idea before you capture the queen. I'm not a big fan of what White has done, and look at that. He's
offering a piece trade just to get some action, right? Just to get something back that he can place.
Right. Well, this move covers the G1s. Ooh, that move I don't like. Knight E2, that looks completely wrong. Now Justin's back in the game. It was much, much better.
I was just going to say, he waits his whole game just to be able to sack his queen. That is what he wants to do, right?
Well, it definitely gives White a chance of hobbling his way back into the game. Knight G5 check. And White needs pieces and pawns. So look at what White has now. There are ideas of G6 check as well. And that's another pawn in White's pocket. Now the question is, after rook takes G2, is Justin toast or not? It wouldn't surprise me if he is, but...
I would have played that too, just because I didn't see... If you play rook takes G2,
Ooh, bishop takes, bishop takes, bishop takes, rook F7 check, knight G5 check. Maybe Justin.
Maybe he mates.
Maybe he mates.
Bishop takes, rook check. There's a block. There's a knight on G5.
Right.
Something's coming into G6 at some point. It looks like White has the makings of a net. Okay, he blocks on G6 first. Maybe that's not bad yet. Maybe he's trying to fill that escape square so that if Black takes with the bishop,
knight G5.
Then there's knight G5, and there's no chance of the king running out.
That's okay. I'm thinking takes on G6 with the bishop takes on G8 check.
Now he's gonna. He drops on F8. That's a brilliant move. He has the rook to G7. There's no way White saw that coming.
This is the Justin we know.
Yeah, that was nice. Now he's got
that was very
rook
nice.
F7. He takes F8 with check, or maybe drops the pawn. Actually, I think it's over. I think he wins.
Yeah. Wow. Well, that was
quite possibly the highlight of Justin Tan's Jean-Lee Crazyhouse's day so far. Is going to be getting this one. Assuming he cleans up in the next. Assuming he cleans up in the next few seconds, which he's on his way to doing.
Okay, yeah. No, he's still got mate on H4.
Yeah, now he can bring the other knight into H4 with check. Okay, he goes D3. He's got queen G4. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pawn on D3.
And you just need a pawn.
Oh, he had pawn on D3 mate, but he missed it.
Whoa, he's hanging F3.
Yeah, he made that a little closer than it could have been. He had the pawn drop to D3 here, which was mate. And I think the reason you oohed earlier is you were thinking maybe he should have gotten the queen first. But either way, okay, we're not gonna try to make sense of this madness. As the great Nezhmetdinov said, as only a fool would analyze blitz, right? So we're gonna move on. And, but okay, where are the standings at after that big victory from Justin Tan? We've got. What do we have? We've got Jean-Lee, who's moved back into near the top, where we know he belongs. Little Plotkin, who gave up the one draw, is the one guy who seems to be holding his ground against the storming comeback of Hercules here.
Now let's check out that game of Little
Plotkin, let's do it. In fact,
he's playing he's playing one of my pre-tournament favorites.
Yeah,
Jouanet. Now, we have kind of a, well, you want to call it the Fort Knox, the Fort Knox variation of the French defense. Yeah, but the Fort Knox in Crazyhouse can get blown away.
Yeah.
Here, bishop takes c6 and knight d5. That's an automatic. Knight e5 is an automatic. Bishop takes c6, knight e5. with the threat of knight takes f7.
Yeah,
White,
that's
White should play that instantly. That he took too long. 3 minute chess
gotta play
for
faster.
yeah, automatic decisions like that should not you should not be slowing down. Queen g4 is automatic.
Yeah, and he's doing it. And if you're Jean Lee, you've never rooted harder for Jeanette Crazyhouse, right? To take down
It's
Little Plotkin, because his best chance
exactly.
is that, because remember everybody, Jean Lee has already played Little Plotkin. So if you look at the standings here, there's Jean Lee is not going to have a chance to go mono y mono anymore against Little Plotkin. So he's going to need some help if he's going to overtake it and defend his Crazyhouse title. So.
That's exactly right. Now, here the question is, can I play the move pawn g6, which he has done? Beautiful move.
I love it. I love sacking the queen in that way.
Oh,
here
very,
you got to
nice.
play c3. You're not worried. Yeah, you're not too worried about the c2 square.
Because there's no knight in the hand for black. But look at this.
Here he comes. He takes. He probably bishop g5.
G5 check.
Don't you want to develop it, right? Move the bishop out.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And by the way, does black? Yes, black will have to drop a pawn on f6 against, and then you hack the knight off.
Right.
The wonderful thing about hacking off your opponent's pieces is that
you get it right
the
back.
threats that the threats that were
I don't know why he took so much time on that. Yes.
These are really automatic moves.
Yeah. And now he goes for exactly what you said. He hacks the knight off. Now watch out for that g6 square, everybody. That's going to be the money square for White's attack to continue.
Bingo.
Quick shout out to all 1,200 of you that are still here. We had over 3,600 viewers, Yaz, when my power dropped. So that's a little heartbreaking. But all 1,200 of you that are still here at Twitch TV/chess, Chess.com TV, Celebethel, Chess Bay, GB Pair, just reading off usernames, Victoria, Leela, Sorion, and Chess TV. Thanks to everybody who's here. I do have a generator. No, I'm kidding. I need to get some sort of backup power source. I'm not sure it would have instantly stopped the connection anyway, but anyway, thanks to all of you that are still here. We still got probably another hour of fun chess here.
Well, I mean, you need that that small mini home nuclear backup generator.
Yeah, no, exactly. And a small parrot to pedal on a bike and make sure it never stops running, right? Something.
Exactly. Now here, knight g8 is automatic. Ooh, he didn't play knight g8. The point is that after king,
I see you, BJ.
The point is that after king d6 there was knight e8 mate, but he did play.
How sweet would that have been? Yeah, so you're right. That would have been so nasty. Okay.
Nasty.
He's still on the attack though. He can take f6 with check, but look how useful this bishop is here, right? Sneakily protecting the e7 square and preventing mate.
That is true. Now here, I think if I were White, I would have dropped a knight on e3 just to cover...
Just to stop all the shenanigans that are about to ensue, right? Guard everything.
That's right. And Black doesn't have anything in his pocket at that moment. But, okay, this should be...
Black tried to get it by sacrificing the queen for the knight. He's going to look to drop a pony in here, folks. Or pawn. He wants Batman and Robin, the queen and knight over here to be a dynamic duo and mate the white king. But I'm not sure he's going to have enough. What if he just runs to f1 here? I thought maybe f1 would get out.
Well, you got to watch out for that bishop sneaking out to a6.
I forgot. You're right. I was only looking at the pieces off the board. I forgot if I played here, I would have lost.
Yeah, that would have been tricky. Yep. I mean, you could have. Okay, but. He has played knight b2. Whoa. Okay. You can still put a pawn on b3, cover everything. This looks like what Black has got to face some music on. Yeah. Look
Amazing.
At that. Yeah, e8 was mate, f8.
He just
all kinds
and
of
the main
mates.
thing is he just ran out of time. But you know what that means? Yeah, that means we have a showdown in terms of the standings, even if they're not facing off directly, assuming Jean Lee's going to take care of business, and we're going to look at that right now.
Let's take a look at that, because I see that Jean Lee is down to 14 seconds.
Yeah, it may not be so simple. And he's getting mated.
Oh my God, his king is
mugwort,
exposed, and there it is.
It's mate in two. Whoa, we caught it. We caught it on camera. Mugwort helps Little Plotkin with a huge victory there. Mugwort needs to go back to Hogwarts and figure out what's going on with that name. But hey.
It's working for
It's
him.
working for him.
Danny.
So I can't. Is he a Muggle? Is he a Ward? I don't know. That was a ridiculous Lord of the Rings reference, but I do my best.
But I got to tell you, I'm not. I mean, I'm seeing flashes
Yeah.
of Justin's best, but he's mixing it up with some really egregious errors that he just doesn't make, and he's lost 2 games.
Yep. Well, that means he remains a full point behind our leader, everybody, despite Plotkin losing. Mugwort is right there. And all these guys, all these guys know each other. The Crazyhouse community is a pretty tight community of knowing who the studs are, right? Who the gods are at this amazing game. But I think that John Lee, if I was watching his stream right now, I would imagine he agrees with you, Yaz, that this has just not been his best day. But we got to follow this one right here. We got to follow John Lee versus Chicken Crossroad. This is a battle, everybody. If you're just joining us, of the first ever Crazyhouse championship we ever had. These two tied for first. So neither may win the tournament today, but these are 2 of the best Crazyhouse players on the planet. So this should be fun.
Now this is a specialty of John Lee. This Queen H5, it takes you right back to the good old days of youth, huh, Danny?
Yeah.
When you could checkmate on it.
What are you talking about, youth? I still play for the former checker.
Yeah. That's how we win the game.
Yeah.
But no, the whole idea is to induce this move, G7, G6. Basically in Crazyhouse, although there are those people who still like to fee and shadow their bishops, it's genuinely
frowned
dangerous.
upon, right?
Yeah,
like switching lanes without a blinker or
like
things.
2 pawns. Like if White has 2 pawns, he puts one on G5, one on H6.
Yeah,
and you immediately, in the words of Victor Korchnoi, experience unpleasant sensations.
Unpleasant sensations. Got to give a shout out that only one fan took the bait of thinking I was serious in referencing Harry Potter as LOTR. Most got the joke. But shout out to everybody who's with us. The show's not over yet. We still got a lot of fun ahead. And yeah.
Yeah, well, there you go. Now, this move, Queen D2, obviously eyeballing H6. In Crazyhouse, castle short by black. Bishop takes H6 followed by a pawn coming to G5. That's an automatic. Those tactics are second nature to Zero House players.
Yeah.
Or Crazyhouse players.
I like the Z House. The
Z.
You're making short.
Right?
You're doing short things like the cool kids do these days, right? I mean, you're dropping some BRBs and some WTFs. Not really.
But okay, A4. That's basically because black doesn't want a castle. Essentially, he doesn't want a castle king side. He doesn't want a castle queen side. So A4 is like one of those. Tell me your address. Where are you hanging out these days?
Right.
You want to go queenside? No, I don't think so. I'll put a pawn on B4 and B5. No, what's this? Takes on D4 with the bishop, followed by rook E1.
Bring pieces to the file and win this the old school chess way.
Oh yeah, this looks like a.
Plus, you're screaming for something to get nasty on the light squares over here before the black king gets out of dodge, right?
Right.
How do you do that?
Now, an automatic here for White is you drop a bishop on G3.
Okay.
The reason that you put a bishop on G3 in such positions, it's a dual-purpose move, man. You cover your king, you protect your king, and you're hitting E5.
Okay.
So that means that any counterattacks are likely to fail. Now, Jan just took a pawn. And hey, anybody takes a pawn.
You're GM,
right?
Yaz. If anybody loves taking pawns, right? It's Grandmaster Yasser Seirawan, right?
But notice that if you had put a bishop on G3, those knight F5, knight H4 ideas would have just not been on tap.
There's no way this is a fun thing for White here. I mean,
no, that's not what you do voluntarily. Not for a pawn.
Right.
Not in Crazyhouse. No. Bishop G3 was much stronger. Okay, now Jan has to face a little music. Queen F4 is automatic.
I got $20 that Jan sacks his queen somehow. I don't even know how in the next 3 to 5 moves. That's what we're gonna see.
Yeah. Okay. $20. Huh?
I don't know how it's gonna happen.
I have to look at the chat.
That's one. People are gonna want it. International Master David Pruis hanging out in the Chess TV chat. What's up, David? Pro Chess League commentator. He also cringed at knight f3, not understanding that.
No. That was not good. Now
I watch what he's gonna take. I'm telling you, he's gonna sack his queen. I don't even care if it's for the knight or the pawn. Yaz, the queen's going down. That's what he wants. He lives to give up the lady. He's
Now, once again, if there had been a bishop on g3, none of this stuff would be happening.
What? You're right.
None of this would be happening.
Yeah, this is going to be an exciting finish because Yegor is on the attack now. Oh, but that gives it up.
Ooh, I don't like taking on f2.
I agree. I was
going to
say that gives up the attack, and with only 19 seconds, I think Jean-Li's going to win this one despite not having his best. And he hasn't even played a check the whole time. I'm finally wrong about the queen sack, but now he can do it. Now he can drop. Why am I not seeing pieces dropped? I mean, he's got a massive piece bank here, and I'm waiting for the initiative to take over.
Well, he's going to have to play g3, and he's going to do it, 39
Why not drop
minutes,
a pawn on d7?
Seconds.
I was going to say, if you drop a pawn on d7 and queen takes, then drop the knight. That was also a good idea.
On tap. But look at this. Now he's covering up the dark squares. Okay, I had enough.
He took a lesson out of Yasser's book there. And
well, okay, now he's really protecting his.
He just doesn't want to get mated in the next 5 seconds. That's his goal.
I think we're going to see. No, we're not going to see a queen sacrifice. Okay, yeah, finally.
Now finally, the checks
he's got it. Now he's got the game under wraps.
There's going to be a knight check and a big capture and nothing to it. So
yeah,
very. But a smart approach though. Anyway, just because he made some of those moves kind of hard for Yegor to do quickly.
Right,
as far as time goes, and now there should have been a mate coming, and eventually there is a mate.
Wow.
Pony drops, and
we're just not seeing Justin at his usual best. Usually he's just pounding out these moves quickly and great moves. That move, knight takes d4.
David
giving up the initiative for a pawn.
David is, I think, underestimating a little bit of the best Crazyhouse, though. He's saying he's not sure that you have to be a specialist to play a match in this. He wants to play me. Me and David would be a better match at Crazyhouse.
Okay, I got $20, a hot 20 in my pocket. That might be going somewhere.
No, we got a match coming up between you and Jean-Li. I'm not sure if I've told you that yet, but we got to do that.
I love that.
We got to do that.
I mean, it's.
But you guys are both going to be on camera, and I'll be there with it. You guys are going to talk trash while playing. I think that's where you get the edge, Yaz, is where you get to, because he hasn't played you in person. I've seen you work your magic of the smack talk. So.
Right. No, my best cheapo that I got in a sesh with Levon is I just won a game, and he said, "Okay, this game I'm going to smash you," and he was very forcefully tough about it.
Right.
And I said, Levon, I'd love to agree with you, but in that case we'd both be wrong.
Right.
Okay, knight h5 is automatic.
There we go. You got to play.
You got to play knight h5, queen g6, knight h4.
This is probably a game I don't know that we need to stay with. I'm really curious about what's going on with.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Please.
No, not your fault at all. Okay, so we have Rus Magic taking on Jean-Li, but where is our boy Plotkin here? Let me.
But by the way, isn't Rus Magic one of our big tournament leaders, or he started?
Not anymore. He was, but he started out strong and
or something. Yeah.
Slowed down. But here goes Plotkin taking on International Master Higher Contrast from Japan apparently, and I got my money on Plotkin in this one here since we're talking all about what we're betting. Although now, okay, wait, I didn't realize there was a bishop there on c1. For some reason, I thought you could sack and then start the dark square assault. But I think White is doing okay.
I think that Black just doesn't have enough material here.
Okay.
I mean, he's got a safe king, and that counts for a whole lot. But pawn to g6 looks really brutal, and was played, by the way. That looks like a really, really harsh move. How is Black going to handle that one?
Well, to show you the standings, everybody, and why these games are so important, right now we've got 10.5 points there for your leader, as you can see. He is in first place. Mugwort and Jean-Li trailing closely behind. And
Yep.
15 rounds of chess are to be played today in the Crazyhouse Championship. So if you're just joining us, we could be in for a photo finish, so don't go anywhere. And
Absolutely.
okay.
Now this move pawn g6, man, this looks really,
Yeah, this
really,
is good
really
stuff.
tough to handle.
And again, somebody has to slow down the little Plotkin
Yeah.
before he gets too far out of control, because if he wins another one and heads into the last couple of rounds, he's really in control. So White wants to make this mating attack work for the whole field.
Yes. And by the way, there's bishop take. Whoa.
Ooh,
Why didn't he take on f7?
Actually.
Okay, little confusion for me. There was an opportunity to capture on f7, whereby you win a pawn, it's with check.
Yeah, and then you take back on g5, right?
Exactly. And okay, but anyway,
if thinking you're the last sane person on earth, Yaz, makes you feel, you're like, what's going on? It's a pawn. It's with check. Why?
Check. What? Now here, bishop d7 or bishop f7 check is an automatic, nothing to think
Of course,
about.
you're right. I gotta show Yaz's instructive idea, everybody. The whole point he wants to do is deflect the bishop from this square so that the queen can drop, which, by the way, would have been mate. So you're totally right, Yaz. White just missed a way to put this 1A. Everyone's commentating that you should be the one playing in this event. You'd probably win today.
Well, I mean, I stepped aside. I deferred for Justin.
You deferred for the sake of commentary, and plus I gobbled you up first, before you knew there was a whole qualifier. So.
And I had that to deal with. Okay, and nonetheless, little Plotkin, he's in all kinds of trouble. No, but queen to e8 should be mate. I think that would be an automatic. There must be a way of. This isn't bad either.
Dropping the queen and then taking with check, and then the other rook's coming in. Yeah.
That's
now you almost wonder if you could. Okay, he's not playing check moves. He's kind of.
I think this is a really dangerous. You get into dangerous ground when you do something like this. Like, okay, now he's done that right,
now he's got to put it away.
I was going to say you could take on e7. Now you just do everything with check.
Everything has to. What is he doing?
And why
is Black just taking back? I mean, I would have. I mean, yeah. In this position, Black should even just drop the queen on h1 and do anything you can to just keep the attack going. I don't understand.
That's right.
Okay, well he's
okay. So now it's back to easy mate.
Yeah, White is okay. Drop the rook on h7 was a forced mate, and then queen f7.
Right. Knight f7. Yeah, mate. Okay, but boy, okay, there was some serious mix-ups there, but not playing either bishop f7 check or bishop d7 at that moment that you highlighted.
Yeah.
Okay, that's egregious. You should know that stuff's part of your DNA.
Well, just like that, yes, Jean-Lee did take care of business, so we have a tie at the top, and the man
Mugwort can still join. No, Mugwort.
No, Mugwort already he lost his game. So Justin Tan, the man from down under, despite not having his best chess today, Yaz is still tied for first. So this will be an interesting finish to see which of these two can take care of the field in the final 2 rounds.
And I got to tell you, when Justin is on the top of his game, I mean, it's majestic.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like Magnus Carlsen, doing his magnetization in an ending.
No.
What was 94? Ooh, what do we got?
It was one of the only games still going, so we had to check it out, and the Chess Broad did win on time. Okay.
All right, Aman.
I clicked on it just to see if we could catch the photo finish. Aman does win and takes it on time.
Although he's now Aman's one of my best time boys I've ever had.
Yeah.
See, what happened was when I was in Montreal, and I would be playing 3 minutes. I'd work up a really nice position, but I'd have like 20 seconds on the clock, and then I'd call time boy. and Eric or Aman would come over and go, 50 moves in 18 seconds.
You outplay somebody, but then the mouse kicks in, right?
That's it.
All right, well, here we have Master Tan. As I was saying before the power went out, I was saying that Master Tan, I believe, is another Justin Tan who plays for the London Lions in the Pro Chess League. And right as I said, London Lions, power was out. But okay, I think we got to keep following the two leaders, everybody. Jean Lee sitting
Right.
at 10.5 out of 13, and now playing the man who
Higher
just took down
contrast
Little Plotkin, right?
from Japan.
And Little
So,
Plotkin is taking on Helm's Knight. She's had a pretty good tournament here so far. We saw the
yeah.
only game we got to see of her, she lost earlier, but definitely holding her own here amongst. She is one of the Crazyhouse elite, so not surprised.
Absolutely.
Look at Jean Lee, by the way, going for this this Queen H5
Ooh.
system several times.
It's his specialty.
Yeah.
And here it's actually working to a sweet, sweet perfection.
Yeah.
First of all, Black's king already in trouble. After this move d3, it's pretty easy to guess what White's next moves are going to be. If White could put a bishop on g5.
Pieces are coming out.
If we were to imagine, okay, I was about to say, if we were to imagine that the knight was to move, you play bishop g5, the pawn would come to f6, you take it, and then put another pawn on g5 and get the guy.
And you just continue to just sort of rinse and repeat. Oops, I moved the wrong thing.
Yeah,
yes.
I understand what you wanted. Yeah. But okay, we do have g4, and that's very helpful for White. Let's see how I can do this. I can take on e4. You'll take on f3. I'll put a pawn on f6. Queen takes f6. Queen takes f3. Wanting to trade queens and mate on. Yeah,
I love the way your brain works. It's just like butter when it comes to how these pieces flow off the deck.
Ooh, but I don't like this. There's knight d4 as a counter.
Yeah, here it comes. You can move the knight, right? Not even drop the knight. Oh, he drops it, but okay.
Okay.
I would have moved the knight, but
I think I would have moved the knight as well. Okay, Justin had this as a counter shot. Now,
obviously Black is considering I thought he was considering giving up the queen and launching the check series, but he decides against it.
Well, you've been saying that Justin loves sacrificing
his queen, and he does it again.
And he does it again. In this case, it's not just sacrificing his queen. It's like he's sacrificing the
whole army. Yeah. Now, if he takes f7, is he going to drop the? No, he can't drop the rook. I'm sorry, the knight's here.
That's why he left the knight aside, knight behind.
Yeah.
Now, I was a little surprised by the move f7 by Justin. I think he should have castled and kept that f7
out of the game before it's too late.
Yeah, and kept that f7 check in reserve. Now he's got some music to face.
Yeah, and Black has the instruments to play that music, right?
That's right. Knight 4. Yeah.
Now the c2 square is open for either the queen or the rook.
And this is huge. Huge.
I think higher contrast might be beating the two tournament leaders back to back. He just took down Little Plotkin, everybody, and now he's well, we seem to have jinxed Helm's Knight. The only two games we've covered of hers, Yasser, she didn't have her best chess, so she lost very quickly to Little Plotkin, which puts him in the driver's seat in regards to the standings, everybody. Little Plotkin now at 11.5.
Justin's going to have to win to
this is probably the tournament right here.
This is resigns. Oh, he didn't do it. He had to play rook e2 check.
Drop the rook first, everybody, and then bring the knight in.
D4.
And then bring the queen in.
And that would have been mate. It's mate. And Justin's back in
now Justin's going to do his best to turn the table here. Maybe drop the knight on d5. Just planning to take back on e3 with the pawn.
Looks like a start. But here, I think you're going to have to just kind of maybe cover up a little bit more. Queen e2, not a move I'm proud of, by the way.
Yeah.
Queen e2, just,
buckle down and hold on for the winter, right? Okay, right. He goes with the aggressive one, but
for your advice.
But you may be right though, because now the main thing is he took about 20 seconds on that move. That's the problem. Look at his time.
That's huge.
This is going to be a time scramble finish. Yeah.
Queen takes f3, rook takes e2 should be an automatic. I think he has not bad. Very, very good.
Brings another piece in to fill this square, everybody.
But not only that, crucially taking away knight c7 ideas.
Yeah, what a great point. Yeah, that both attacks and defense and affords Black this move that's not a check. That's a good point, yeah.
Okay, he had to play queen e2 a moment ago. He's now
I
had to
thought
play
maybe he would
queen
have just taken
f1.
the knight there. Okay, he's trading queens, but
No, this should be a forced mate. Thinking queen
drop the
check,
pawn. Yeah,
pawn
here he goes. Here
f3
comes the
check,
rook.
grab a rook with check.
Interesting.
Oh,
He didn't take with check.
he
That could be the
didn't
thing that
take
loses
with
him this game.
check.
Why would you not take with check there?
Absolutely. Oh my.
I guess he
But
calculated
White doesn't
quickly and
have,
realized he wasn't losing.
but White has no pieces at all with which
Yeah.
to counter. So that little
Look at that. He's only got
flourish
3
was all
seconds,
about
though. Jean Lee,
time.
he drops the queen on d1. It's mate. Quick. He drops the pawn and then the rook. No. Oh, my God. He escapes. He literally
Oh,
escapes by the very few hairs on his
oh,
chinny chin chin because we know Jean Lee stays clean shaven on tournament day. So
oh
that
my
is,
goodness.
wow, Yasser.
That means we've got a tie with one round to go.
You know, as much as this maybe wasn't the cleanest finish there, he did what he needed to do, I guess, from a practical perspective. But now we've got
Right.
Little Plotkin sitting at 11.5 points, everybody, taking on somebody he hasn't played. Where is Jean Lee? Jean Lee is taking on Easy
Easy luck.
Luck.
Okay, and both players are tied for first. But I must
Uh,
say that by Easy Luck's rating, Justin probably has a easier task in front of him than Little Plotkin.
yeah, well, we're going to check out the standings here just as Yasser said. They're tied at
Wow.
11.5 apiece.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
Amazing. This is
Justin
going to
was
be
so
such a close finish.
lucky.
Easy Luck, I guess you could argue, has more to play for than Little Plotkin's opponent at this point, given that Easy Luck is in third with 11 out of 14. So this is the
Now,
last game, everybody. This is it. If both Little Plotkin and Jean Lee do what they came to do, we're going to once again have co-champions. We had co-champions the first championship, yes, and so maybe that's what it's meant to be.
no
Or
tie breaks.
one of them stumbles to the finish line and overtakes the other. So should be a fun little finish.
Okay. A couple of things went wrong already for Justin in this game. Not quite too sure what he's thinking or how he's behaving, but there was an opportunity for him to play knight takes f2 that he definitely had to play. Full stop and end of story. Nothing to discuss.
Yeah, back here.
And then
Yeah.
well, no,
Yeah, right
waiting
here.
for h3.
Yeah, yeah. And then the
Ooh.
dark squares.
And then bishop b5 check. Justin made a cardinal error. You never block with a pawn. Pawns are so important. He had to play bishop d7, automatic,
Just trade pieces,
automatic.
right? Plus, you want
Yeah,
to trade at this point. No reason not
of
to.
course, of
Interesting.
course. So some very strange play here by Justin, getting himself into awkward difficulties, I want
And
to
we
say.
talk about the risk of fianchettoing, especially in games like Crazy
Yes.
House and Bug House, because the pawns that may start dropping on these squares. But Justin seems to do that. He's got his own unique Crazy House style, right? As good as
That's
he
right.
is, we talk about the favoritism to the minor pieces over the queen. And I see him
Yeah.
fianchetto regularly. In fact, the few
Yeah.
times I've ever seen him get in trouble were because he fianchettoed, actually.
Yeah. Here, I don't like, again, a very, very bizarre decision there by Justin to play the move f5,
Okay.
which just gives that knight on h4 an additional target. I don't like that decision at all. I thought he was going to go queen a5 and queen h5, getting over to
The
Dodge City.
unwanted guests are coming into the dark squares, kind of like in-laws, right? That's what I call the attack on the
Okay.
dark squares there. Unwanted guests.
Yeah, unwanted guess. Copy that. I know exact. Ooh,
Yeah,
that
white shouldn't have
retreat-
backed up, right?
No,
You got to keep the
no,
pressure
no.
there if you're white.
Exactly. I'm just thinking, just play. I don't care. Bishop f3.
Yeah,
Force that
do
knight to take the
something.
queen.
Yeah,
But okay, we've got a situation where white is up a lot of material, a little bit of some dangers to his king, and black has a very, very safe king at present.
yeah.
Now, this move knight d5, I thought that I would have lost $20.
Right.
I thought Justin was going to sacrifice his queen. I thought he's going to take on d4, take on e7, put a pawn on e3, and let's go.
Yep. And maybe
This-
there he should have, but I guess he's into the solid structure he's created here. It's not bad that he's sort of he filled
That's
the
right.
fianchetto hole of the bishop with a pawn, and that's going to make the black king a lot safer.
Right.
Yep.
Now, white has to be very, very mindful of the h2 check down the road.
Yeah.
That's going to be, ooh, Justin's
There he
queen is
goes. There she
basically
goes.
trapped.
It was only a matter of time before Justin sacked the queen. Let's peek here real quick, Yasser, on the other tournament leader who is, whoa, under a serious amount of pressure here. He's getting crushed.
He's busted. Yeah, he's busted. F8 is hanging, and white's got
draw.
by
that is the worst. That is the worst.
My goodness.
Look at that.
Black has nothing.
Little
Plotkin
offers a draw, and his opponent is scared and gives him the draw. Why would you do that?
Followed by queen takes f8 would have just been mate.
Block with anything, and then white wins. That is
bizarre.
That is unfriendly to what we want to see as chess fans and commentators.
Okay, let's see how Justin is doing, because he sees the defensive. Oh my word! It looks like he's busted. I don't see a takeout yet.
Yeah, there's no knockout here. He's got some pieces he could drop on h2, drop on. How do you create opportunities for checks over there? He's got to think fast.
Well, he's got to play bishop f7 just to stop the mate in 1 for the time being. I don't know how else he's going to defend those threats, but bishop f7 is going to be met by rook d8.
Right, here he goes.
Rook d8 with the threat of mate.
Sacking twice and then mate, everybody. But he's defended, surprisingly. One thing that's interesting is
queen h6 is automatic. This is a great move. Ooh, Justin.
Even stronger.
Justin's in deep. He's in a world of hurt right here.
It's over.
This is over.
It's over, right? I mean, that's a brilliant finish.
It's 8 seconds. Justin's
mostly a spike check
check
there. Mostly a spike check.
Whatever checks he can.
If he doesn't have enough checks. He may actually... Okay, he's only got 2 seconds. Is he going to pull off a miracle here? How does it work,
imagine.
Though? There's no way. He's run out.
Yeah.
Oh, my God! The champion... He literally... Is that not backing your way into a championship right there?
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh.
Wow, he played literally the last few moves is exactly why the game is played, everybody, because as a scientist and as an instructor, as a commentator, this game was over and black was losing. But as a player, that is not what happened. And Jean Lee, you know what he did? He also punished Plotkin there for backing his way into it with a draw. Jean Lee is the 2018 crazy. You know what? He was the pre-tournament favorite, and I guess he did what he was supposed to do. But not in the way we expected. I mean, does that not sum up the karma of the day? Yes, he didn't have his best chess, but he stuck with it. And even when he was completely lost, there was mate on the board, and nothing black could do about it. He found a way to, literally, he pulled a Carlsen. He backed his way into the championship, right? Backed his way into the candidates, and found a way to win.
Exactly. And, I'm forcibly reminded by a piece of advice that in his book on bullet chess, Hikaru, like the 5 commandments. Commandment number 1 in bullet chess, you never resign.
Yeah.
You just play, or you flag your opponent,
right.
Or you do what it takes. Wow.
Amazing. Well, as we can see there, everybody, the final standings, gold going to the man who we expected to win, but pretty exciting. I mean, that was thrilling right there. I mean, I know it's not every day you can win you can win some serious cash by flagging your opponent 1 move away from mate.
Shout out to Mugwort. He played some good games. I didn't see enough of their number 3 bronze medal winner.
Yeah, we almost saw no games from Tom.
Right, he seems to maybe have come in at the end there a little bit, but Justin,
wow. Well, shout out to everybody who's here. Chess Bay, thanks so much for the love. Yeah, I got back online and completely rebuilt my production with screen captures as fast as I possibly could with the power outage. Mm-hmm. So appreciate all 1,200 of you that stuck with us despite going down. But this was a lot of fun. The Crazyhouse Championship will be a regular thing of the future. Of course, there were a lot of other people streaming today too, Yaz. There were people that were playing because we have streamers prizes. So obviously everyone can look to Chess.com for kind of the post-match recap and talk about the thrilling affair of Jean Lee. That was crazy. That was legitimately crazy right there. Amazing.
You know, I think this tournament typified so much. Everything that you see we saw some great tactics. We saw some people giving up the initiative and then having it rebound. I mean, we
saw people flag, like ruthlessly flagging people in completely dead lost positions.
I tell you, those spike checks sometimes, they work. What can I say? Ooh,
Knights are more valuable in bullet chess, and never resign are two things I learned from Larry Christensen when I was way too young to be making him drinks while he played on ICC. I can tell you that. So that's a story from my childhood. But Grandmaster Larry Christensen gave me many life lessons. Yaz, this was a lot of fun.
It was fun. Yeah, Danny, it really, really was. And again, a shout out to our audience for hanging in there with us. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did, because I'm going to be laughing for the next few hours.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Ooh, so close.
Well, stick around, everybody. We will be hosting the Chess Bras the moment we go offline. See what their takeaway was from this, and they're going to be transitioning into one of their classic shows, so don't go anywhere. Shout out to David Pruis, all of our Diamond members, all of our subscribers. We love it. We love all of you. The support helps make events like this possible, and this was a lot of fun. Thanks for being with us today. So, Yaz.
Absolutely. Danny, before you
can
go,
I be your wingman? Can I be your wingman anytime? I mean,
absolutely. Just give me an update on some of the cool things that are happening in the next week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Of course, you were mentioning the Pro League. When's the next games in the Pro League?
Yeah, no, this Saturday is it's. So twice a year in the Pro Chess League, we got this Super Saturday. But Carlsen's playing this Saturday. Nakamura's playing this Saturday. Caruana's playing this Saturday. So the biggest names in chess are playing in the Pro Chess League. I will actually have the commentary in the afternoon on Saturday with women's FIDE master Alexandra Botez. What?
Oh, I was about to say who you're doing.
Yeah, with Alexandra. So, okay. Yeah, the Pro Chess League is next. We have some other announcements coming out soon about more tournaments we're doing for streamers and stuff, trying to create more league opportunities, too, like this Arena Kings we're doing every week, where people are motivated to stream every week because of end-of-year type of events and tournaments and prizes. And so we're just doing all kinds of events.
Cool.
I didn't expect that question from you, honestly, so I wasn't prepared to talk about what I should be more prepared to promote what we're doing, but I wasn't, so.
And then, of course, you've got in Reykjavik, in the Reykjavik Open.
Yeah, the Reykjavik Open will be on Chess.com. Of course, the biggest shout-out we should probably give, honestly, though, is to you and the Chess Bras for the candidates coverage that's coming up. Because for those who just go to Chess.com right now and check out coverage on the candidates tournament. We'll scroll that up here and show everybody.
I see you're looking at my explanation for news.
Yeah. By the way, everybody, if you have not read Yaz's blog before anybody goes anywhere, I'm going to share a link to Yasser's blog. If you want to know, this is basically free advice from the world's leading chess commentator and personality and Grandmaster Yasser Seirawan. You got to check out that blog. Anyway. But look
at this candidates. It's so cool.
This is the next biggest thing. And who will be challenging Magnus? You and Grandmaster Eric Hansen and the whole Chess Bra crew. You guys are our official team for Chess.com. We are gonna have you guys bringing in the call. Are you ready for that? It's gonna be a lot of energy. You're gonna need some tea. You're gonna need some coffee. You're gonna have 6 hours on your plate. Yeah.
Oh, no, I really am. And that event, which, of course, leads to the World Championship, what can you say? Those are the crown jewels of the chess world. And choosing a challenger, that tournament is so damn hard. Yep. There's only one prize of note. And
I'm going to put you on the spot, though, since you put me on the spot about our schedule. Yeah. Pro Chess League this Saturday, everybody. Candidates coming up. Who's your favorite to win?
This one is easy. I'm going to go with 2/3 of the Holy Trinity because American nationalism. But in my deepest heart of hearts, showing my age, I'm voting for the old guy. I would love to see the veteran Vladimir
Get
Kramnik
one more shot at
be
the crown.
challenger. I don't know how many opportunities he's going to have in his career, and there's something very special. A former world champion Vladimir Kramnik facing a new world champion in a world championship match.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. So Vladimir, and of course Wesley and Pappy.
I would agree that I think of the field here that might have a chance to play Magnus. I would put the person with the best chance to beat Magnus in a match to be Kramnik, honestly, because of his experience being a former world champion. And I think that with the time to prepare and knowing what it takes and that type of heavyweight battle where adjustments are made, I think that he might be. And I'm not saying that my pick's going to be Levon. Aronian has had probably the best year in the last year of chess of everyone whose name isn't Magnus Carlsen. So I'm going with Lev. I think my heart is either with the 2/3 American pick or Lev. If I had to pick three of my favorites, it would be Aronian, Caruana, or Wesley. But I honestly don't think that anybody is going to beat Magnus in a match at this point besides Kramnik. I'm not sure that I would put, and maybe I'm wrong about that. Obviously, I'm totally wrong. But I feel like nobody, maybe Aronian could, I guess, if he had the time to prepare. But I don't know.
But Levon, I think, would be an excellent challenger. You mentioned that he had a great year, and I do agree. 2017 was it was the year of Levon. But the guy who's been really hot coming into this event, Shaq.
Yeah,
number two man. He's number 2 in the world. You got to say he had a great year. But the problem I see in a potential Shaq versus Magnus match is just look at their record. It's horrifying. It's like the joke amongst the elite is that between Shaq and Hikaru, they've gifted Magnus about 100 rating points. Okay,
and you know what's so strange is but you're right. It's totally stylistic too, because how many times in the last year have you seen Nakamura with a plus advantage, right? Or Mamadjara? I mean, I know they all match up differently. You go to a guy like Hikaru has a great record against Vichy, right? I mean, so. Obviously, the matchups are different, but you're right. Magnus definitely seems to have something over those two guys that has led to some rating points. So, all right, Yaz. Well, I think we're going to call it.
It was fun. And thank you again to the audience. Sorry that I didn't get the chance to see all of your chat comments, but I'm sure that they were very enjoyable. I'll look forward to doing it again.
Yeah, and I appreciate everyone hanging with us, and this was a lot of fun. Look for more championships like this. More Yaz coming your way on Chess TV very soon with the candidates, and we'll talk to you later, everybody.
All right. Good night, everyone.